Last week at the Brickyard, we had a barn burner finish at the Brickyard with a battle between the top two, and it ended up being Isaac Nichols getting his first win of the season in the Herr Sprint Series, and we are down to just a very few amount of races left. 7 races left in the Herr Sprint Series, and the championship is getting even tired. 4 drivers could leave today as the point leader, and maybe 5 or maybe 7 can close in on the championship fight. We are at the fairly unique Kentucky Speedway for Sprint Series Night in America for race 27 of the season at the Kentucky Speedway for the Kentucky 150. Hello everyone, it is Nathan here, and welcome to Kentucky Speedway for race number 27 of the season. 7 races remaining in the 2026 Herr Sprint Series season, and what a season it has been. So many fantastic races up to this point, and we just had one last week at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Maybe one of the best races of the year, and we gotta see what ends up happening here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. This is another home track for me, kinda, because I was born in Cincinnati, so this track is only 45 minutes away from the Cincinnati area, and unfortunately this track sits still in real life, but we are here tonight for what will be a very fun race here on the 1.5 miles of Kentucky Speedway. Both ends are totally different. Turns 1 and 2 was unchanged when they repaved this racetrack many years ago, about a decade ago now, I think. And but 3 and 4 was flattened. 3 and 4 is a little bit flatter than 1 and 2, so these guys are gonna have a lot of speed entering turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch, but they are gonna have to slow it down in 3 and 4, and that's gonna make things very interesting here in this one. It's kind of a hot day as well, 87 degrees here at Kentucky Speedway, so of course it is in August, it is hot up here, so we gotta see how it all goes down on this 1.5 miles. 26 races down, and here are the point standings in the Herr Sprint Series. Chase McClure is still the point leader, 17 points ahead of Emily York Watson. Matt Black is in 3rd, -22. Mikey Fox in 4th, -25. At one point, he was down and out of this championship, but now he's back in it. J.L. Wibbleton, same thing. He's 5th in points, 55 points behind. Still has time to get into the championship fight, but needs some good races here towards the end of the season. Don't stay uneven. Still looking for that first win, but he's in points. -84, Xander Jeffrey in 7th. -86, Matt Davis, he's back on the field here today. If he does some crazy stuff, he could have a chance to win this championship, but he's going to need some crazy momentum at the end of the season. He is 92 points behind. Andrew Williams in 9th, 97. Back along with Ben Wilmington, who is also 97 points behind. And here is the grid here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway for the Kentucky 150 on the pole, and the number 13 is Xander Jeffrey, 7th in the point standings, and alongside him is the number 7 of Kasumi Takashi. The number 96, our point leader of Chase McClure, in 3rd, and the 56 of Justin Perez. The number 31 of Isaac Nichols, last week's winner at the Brickyard, and the number 52 of J.R. Littleton. The number 69 of Matt Black, and the 57 of Corey Case. The number 2 of Tim Simmons, and the 50 of Tyler Jericho. The number 81 of Angel Oliveira, and the number 97 of Logan Williams. The number 02, James Jameson, and the 4 of Dylan Stanleyman. The number 15 of Cement Oskin, and the 87 of Jimmy Liking, the number 29 of Colin Jones, and the number 05 of Mikey Fox, the number 45 of Emily York Watson, second in points, so it's deep in the field here tonight. And then the number 37 of Matt Staves back in the field, trying to get win number 4 on the 2026 season. And then rounding out the grid in the final 2 rows is the number 90 of Stephen Waters and the number 98 of Felix Kazawin. I'm sorry if I butchered it. And then number 16 of Drew Everett and the number 82 of Josh Williamson. And those are our 24 drivers on tap here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway on a hot and slip racetrack. Both ends are different, and it is Santa Jeffrey and Kasumi Takashi on the front row. This is the second pole on the season for Santa Jeffrey, and we gotta see if it can translate into his first win here tonight in the Bluegrass State. Always love this racetrack. I know some people don't like it, but this is a track dear and near to my heart, just like Indianapolis, and it's great to be here this week with the Raw National Series, the Biono Pro Series, and of course tonight with the Herr's Sprint Series. It is Santa Jeffrey and Kasumi Takashi. Just 7 races remain in the 2026 Herr's Sprint Series season, and we are Sprint Series night in America at the Kentucky Speedway for race number 27 on the season. And from the pole, Santa Jeffrey will lead lap number 1 here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway, and you can just tell we got a crazy eye here. We're going to see these guys run easily 3 different groups here at this 1.5 miles, and these guys are going to try and search around all they can with the track being as slick as it is, with it being very hot here on this Wednesday summer night. But right now the top 3 are broken away a little bit, and that is Santa Jeffrey, that is Isaac Nichols, our most recent winner, and that is Justin Perez in the number 56 running out the top 3. But meanwhile, outside of the top 5, they're still 3 wide. That's the seal 2 of James Jameson. And look at the 4 making it 4 wide through the middle. This is a wide enough racetrack with staying 4 wide. They are leaning on each other. That's multiple cases of 4 wide. Meanwhile, back side by side for the lead, Isaac Nichols trying to get 2 wins in a row. And here comes Justin Perez as we are under caution in turn 1. And that is Mikey Fox, 4th in the point standings around. And I think Drew Everett might have gotten a piece of it as well. They were 4 wide in 2 different places. And this is a wide racetrack, but not really in turn 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is wider than turns 1 and 2, and it will be Justin Perez winning the race back to the line, and we are under caution for the first time, or maybe was it Nichols? I think it was Nichols that won the race back to the line, either Nichols or Perez. The ticker says Perez, but we gotta see on that. But early caution here at Kentucky Speedway, and not really expecting that, and it will be Perez, but gonna be interesting of how this all shakes out, because that looks like a simple spin into that sidewall for Mikey Fox in the 05, and that's unfortunate. 4th in the point standings, like I said, and that's gonna hurt his chances at the point lead. I said that there's 4 drivers that could take it after tonight: Emily, York Watson, Matt Blatt, and Mikey Fox all had a chance of taking it away from Chase McClure, but not what Mikey Fox wanted in the 05. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a replay here and see what happened about the first caution here. And we will go back going with about 18 laps to go in the Kentucky 150 at the Kentucky Speedway. Full wide at Kentucky is a tough spot, especially entering this unique front stretch here, and Matt Davis sends Mikey Fox into a first timer of Drew Everett and then nowhere to go for Jimmy Viking and Josh Williamson in the number 87 and 82, and then a hard hit into the outside wall for Mikey Fox. That ended up being a bigger hit than I initially anticipated for the 05, and that ended up being why he has a lot of back end damage. That's unfortunate for Mikey Fox here tonight. Had a chance of maybe taking the points lead or getting very close to it if he had a good one here tonight, and guys like McClure, Black, and McClure didn't. But definitely for the CO5 of Mikey Fox there entering turn number 1. Falling along full speed, and this is just for Hawaii not looking on the front stretch here at Kentucky, and very tough wait for everyone involved. Drew Everett, Josh Williamson making the first starts on the season, Mikey Fox being a championship contender, and then Jimmy Viking being kind of up there in the points in the top 25, top 30, if I remember correctly. And tough way for Mikey Fox there in the number 05, but that was what caused the early caution here at the Kentucky Speedway, and it was Justin Perez out front at the line in a very competitive start. And when we go back on here, it will be 18 laps to go, and it is going to be a fascinating one. And I think this might be a very competitive race, based off of what we just saw on that first 5 to 7 lap one there. But we gotta see what ends up happening. Justin Perez will lead us back to the green here as he gets around to 31. And we will go ahead and get back to the restart here at the Kentucky Speedway for the Kentucky 150 here for race 27 of the season. Welcome back to the Kentucky Speedway. We will go back next time by on lap 8 of 25, and it will be 18 laps to go. And this is a sprint race for these guys. Only 25 laps on a mile and a half, so this will fly on by. Once we go back green, no one is out. Angel O'Bella in the number 81 has the fastest lap early on, and that is key, because if he signs up next week, if he signs up for the race next week, later on tonight, then he will start on pole for Iowa. But right now, on the restart, it will be Justin Perez out front, Isaac Nichols, last week's winner, Sanders Jeffrey, Angel O'Bella, Tim Simmons, James Jameson, Colin Jones, Matt Blatt, Jay Wilburton, and Emily York Watson from 19th to 10th. So a great job from the 45, and this is bad news for Chase McClure, because McClure, kind of like Indy, nowhere to be found in kind of the last few weeks, all the way back in 18th right now. But it will be Justin Perez leading us back to the green flag in the number 56 for Andrews Racing. And we are going to go back green here. And the restart zone with 18 laps to go at Kentucky Speedway. And we gotta see how a restart goes here at this new Kentucky. Plus with a good jump. And that 81 is so strong. Got a great one through the center of the corner, and here comes both of the Dracona Racing Enterprises fours. That is Nichols in the 31, that is O'Farrell in the 81. And they are both making moves, and Isaac Nichols normally in the 02. But he's in the 31 here tonight, and he is on the move at number 31 machine. It's been a tough season for him. He doesn't really have a lot of luck in the series, but trying to go back to back late in the season here tonight. got those two, the car that he's normally in. Matt Blatt just gets shuffled in the middle. And this is a fairly multi-group racetrack as we are seeing here, so definitely a fairly fun track here on NR. We got a fairly fun INI here, and this is fairly exciting, and you can just tell 1 and 2 more banked but narrow, 3 and 4 less banked, but wired. So I might have been wrong on what I said in the intro. I think they changed 1 and 2 here, and they kept 3 and 4 the same. And here comes Olvera, got the fastest lap so far here, and it's gonna be a Dracon Racing 1-2. And there's Angel Olvera out front in the number 81. Here comes Colin Jones in the number 29. Doesn't stay uneven. Tim Jones in the 2. Santa Jeffrey. Jerry Liberton. Perez has fallen all the way back to 9th after being the race leader at the restart. Here comes Takashi and Tyler Jericho as well. Chase McClure is stuck on the bat. Speaking of the bat, the 05 is losing the draft, so I think he has more damage than what I thought. So tough day here for that 05 machine. And Olvera out front, Colin Jones in second. Everyone running a different line here at Kentucky Speedway. And here comes our poster, Santa Jeffrey. Gonna try and take this third with a 4th spot away. And that's just the hard part of getting a 1 on that inside. That outside lane has a lot more banking. And here we go, Colin Jones is going to go side by side for the race lead in turns 3 and 4. And he will leave this lap. Might open up the door for Isaac Nichols in the 31 here. And he's gonna try and take it for himself though. Colin Jones to the outside. Last lap. But now Isaac Nichols to the point. Maybe. And all the side-by-sides around don't stay uneven. Just gonna send it through the middle. And they're gonna go 3 wide for 3rd. And those two, the 2 Titan Fury cars, were side-by-side for 4th. And now they're side-by-side for 3rd. That was crazy stuff right there. Colin Jones in second. Santa Jeffrey and Santa even side by side for 3rd. And this race is flying on by. We went back and we have 18 to go. At the line, it will be 10 to go already. Here in this one, Colin Jones getting back to the inside. Side by side, Colin Jones trying to make it stick. And I do believe that O2 Racing has not won a race this season yet. As everyone goes down onto the apron. One of the 2 new teams that were kind of last minute slash late in signups where they both tied, and then they ended up getting a second car early season. And for Alexander, well, he won this Drivers' Championship last year. He has at least 1 win to his name as a owner, but the 29 and 16 of Carson Miller does not. Nichols out front for the time being, but now Santa Jeffrey getting help from his teammate, and then number 4 of Stanley, but Stanley's gonna go and send it. And speaking about sending it, Tyler Jericho send it through the middle in turn 3. This is insane. This is back-to-back very competitive races here in the Sprint Series, and unlike last week where they couldn't keep it to the bottom on the inside lane, these guys can run anywhere. The middle, the bottom, the top, and is looking for him. Fantastic stuff here today at the Kentucky Speedway. And Olvera trying to take the race lead, but how about the 13? Santa Jeffrey's gonna go and send it for the race lead, and how about Tyler Jericho? He is on a roll in the Wawa National Series. Of course, Wawa National Series will be here later on in the week. And he cannot be stopped, and that might translate here into the Sprint Series here tonight. Just gotta wait and see. Tim Simmons on the inside lane. As the force gonna send the 81 up the racetrack. That 81 is falling off. I don't know what happened to Angel Rivera. He got the fast lap, got up to the front at one point, but he has cycled out of the pit and he has fallen off. Colin Jones, the fairly inside lane, if you get onto the apron, it's not that smooth. So Colin Jones and some others throughout this race have fallen off a little bit. 8 laps to go. San Jeffrey Alposo is out front. Tim Simmons, James Jameson, Tyler Jericho the top 4, followed by the 15 of Cement Oskin up inside of the top 5. Don't really know who's going to win this race. Honestly, San Jeffrey's been strong here in this one, but we've had several different leaders up to this point. And how about another one? Side by side off turn 2. Tim Simmons to the inside of San Jeffrey. Only 5 laps to go already. James Jameson's going to make it 3 wide for the race lead. 4 wide back behind him. Gotta be careful for that. They're going to beat Doors back there with the 90 and the 29. Stephen Wallace and Colin Jones. Tyler Jericho try making a move on the inside lane, but that apron is not really want to be in the front stretch. The 2 is going to get a great one from the 13 of Jeffrey behind him on the outside lane. But I don't know if that's really going to stick, and 3 and 4 it will for Tim Simmons. There's action all over the place here today at the Kentucky Speedway, and it's a shame that this is not in real life if this is how it raced in real life, because this has been a heck of a race up to this point. Only 3 laps to go already here in the Kentucky 150. Tim Simmons out front. I just talked about of how Alexander's team has a win this year. This is one of the 2 cars for the Fallout Racing team, and Alexander trying to get a win here. CO2 trying to win 2 races in a row, and Travis's Triad team trying to win yet again in the Hood Sprint Series with James Jameson this time. And then you got Santa Jeffrey behind him. Cement Oskin and Tyler Jericho rounds out the top 5. You got the 52 of Littleton. He needs a good one. And McClure, I don't know where he came from, but he's trying to fight for a top 10 spot back there with the 56 machine. Jericho side by side with Cement Oskin. But for Tim Simmons, this might be a race win that's been a long time coming for him. White flag at the Kentucky Speedway. Santa Jeffrey side by side with the 02 of James Jameson. For Tim Simmons, his debut was at Charlotte, and every race he's in, he's been so freaking competitive. And here today at the Kentucky Speedway in a fair competitive race, unless Santa Jeffrey has something to say about it, and I don't think he will, as the 50 of Tyler Jericho is going to get underneath of him. Welcome to Sprint Series Fit Through the Lane for Tim Simmons. You get the first career win on HG the channel here today at a wild Kentucky 150 at the Kentucky Speedway. And we were about to catch up to the 05 of Monkey Fox. That damage really hurt that machine here, and that's a tough break, and that's a tough one for Triad Racing in the owner standings. That very tight owner standings. And how about that? What a race here at the Kentucky Speedway. It was gonna fly on by once we went back green, and that was 18 laps, roughly 9 minutes that flew on by there. And Tim Simmons, you get the first win on HG the channel, I believe, and you get the first Hood Sprint Series win on the season by just under 0.2 of a second. What a fun one here at the Kentucky Speedway. That was a heck of a lot of fun, and I really like this racetrack, and that was a heck of a lot of fun there at the Kentucky Speedway. Tim Simmons gets the race win here today in a barn burner. Santa Jeffrey in second, Tyler Jericho third, Cement Oskin fourth, James Jameson in fifth, Stephen Wallace, Steven, Nichols, Takashi, and Littleton the top 10. Littleton is the only one inside the top 5 that got the top 10. Emily York Watson ends up getting 12th. Justin Perez in 11th. Great job for Felix in his debut in 13th. Matt Davis in 14th. Chase McClure in 15th. Not going to lose a ton of ground on these guys, but Littleton's going to gain a little bit. And then O'Vale, Colin Jones, Corey Case, Logan Williams, Matt Blatt, Jimmy Whiting, Josh Williamson, Drew Everett, and Mikey Fox rounds out the field. Drew Everett was also off the pace, so I think those two were the ones that were involved in that early caution. And a very competitive race here at the Kentucky Speedway, and that was definitely a very fun race here for the Herr Sprint Series, and we gotta see what happens with 6 races left now. And it's gonna come down to guys like Chase McClure, Emily, York Watson, Matt Blatt, Mikey Fox, and J.L. Rippleton for this championship. Stanley even had a good day today, same with Sam Jeffrey, but they are 84 and 86 points back. There's only 6 races left. That might be not enough, but we do have a couple of wild cards in here, like Daytona. So that's gonna be interesting what happens. But what a race here at the Kentucky Speedway! Another barn burner in the Herr Sprint Series. We know how to put these races on for you guys, and they are cooking here in the 2026 Herr Sprint Series season. Here are the points after race number 27 of the season in the 2026 Herr Sprint Series season. Only 6 races are left here in the season, and we gotta see who captures the championship. But however, for tonight, Tim Simmons goes to victory lane here at the Kentucky Speedway, and science for race number 28 on the season for the Iowa 150 will be coming up at 7:30, and we gotta see what happens there for some short track racing for the Sprint Series next week. And until then, congratulations to Tim Simmons on the race win here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway. And here are the points after race 27 on the season.